From Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 5.
Coming up tonight, a grim announcement from Bryant Health concerning capacity and elective surgeries.
Plus, President Biden sits down one-on-one with ABC News to talk about the crisis in Afghanistan. But first,
it's time to band together and stop the suffering that too many of our citizens are facing.
Community leaders fighting back against the opioid crisis.
good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. The number of overdoses we've seen here in Lincoln is unlike anything we've seen before.
The situation has several local leaders gravely concerned, and they're asking you, the public, for help. Channel 8's Yosef Nasser joins us now here in the studio with more on this health alert. Yosef?
Rod and Megan, 50 overdoses in the past 30 days. Officials say the numbers are unprecedented. The city wants the public to be aware of the issue of fentanyl in our community and be prepared to recognize the signs of an overdose.
In the past few weeks, though, a trend that is new to Lincoln of fentanyl-laced cocaine has devastated our community.
We want to save lives. We don't want people dying from this mixture of drugs.
Lincoln police say that cocaine laced with fentanyl is responsible for at least 26 overdoses in the past 3 weeks. In 2020, the city had 133 overdoses total. In 2021, we've already seen 141 overdoses with more than 4 months remaining in the year. Bryant Health says they've also noticed a massive increase in overdoses, treating 18 patients since July 12th.
I think every shift I've worked, either I or one of my partners have taken care of people that have been overdosing.
Today, the health department has issued a health alert warning the public to be aware of the spike we've seen in these accidental drug overdoses.
We are urging the public to know the signs of an overdose, and if you know someone who is struggling with addiction, we want you to be prepared.
According to the health department, signs of an overdose include constricted pupils, loss of consciousness, limp body, and pale blue skin. Addiction treatment specialists say several factors, including social and economic stress, contribute to drug abuse. While conversations about addiction can be extremely difficult, it's important for family members and friends to be direct but supportive with those struggling with drug addiction.
We need to start thinking about this as a health issue, not as a moral issue.
Individuals who are using substances and who are wanting help, they need connection.
I love you. I'm concerned about you. I want to support you. Let's keep talking about this.
Select pharmacies, including the Hy-Vee on 50th and O and the Kohl's on North 27th, are providing public access to Narcan in order to respond to a sudden drug overdose. Remember, Nebraska state law exempts bystanders from administering Narcan in good faith to save a life from any civil, personal, or criminal liability.
Yosef Nasser, thank you very much for our top story tonight. And there are several ways to get help if you or someone you know is struggling with addiction. You can call the National Helpline, that number on your screen right there, 800-662-HELP, or the Lincoln Drug Treatment Center at 402-488-2122.
All right, let's get to your first forecast now. Meteorologist Malcolm Byron in for John tonight. I looked over at your radar, buddy. It looks kind of busy in some areas.
Right, in some areas, not in eastern Nebraska. The key is western Nebraska. Overall, it's been a pretty nice day. In southeast Nebraska, it's been very hot and very humid. Temperatures right now are in the mid to upper 80s at this hour. We're at 88 at East Campus, 87 officially at the airport, 89 in Yankee Hill. Let's pan out the view just a little bit more. 84 in York, 82 Aurora, 86 the current temperature in Grand Island. And it feels downright humid out there as well. Dew point temperatures in the 70s across most of southeast Nebraska. We're at 74 in Wahoo. That's what I call getting close to my yikes territory, because that's just where it feels absolutely disgusting. So be advised if you are in southeast Nebraska, there are a couple passing showers. I don't anticipate these will be severe at all, just enough to get you wet for just a couple of minutes. There are some more storms off in the western portions of the state, or moving in towards the southwestern corner of the state. There are a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings posted in northeast Colorado, and these are about to move into Perkins and Chase counties, likely within the next 1 to 2 hours. So we're going to be watching the potential for some severe storms there. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect till 9 p.m. Central Central Time or 8 o'clock Mountain Time for the counties shaded in yellow. Some of the communities affected include Hayes Center, McCook, Grant, Imperial, Palisade. This does not include the Tri-Cities or Lincoln, but there is the potential for severe weather tomorrow. We're going to have a lot more on that coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right. Thank you so much, Malcolm. We'll talk to you in just a little bit here. Let's get you updated now. The latest coronavirus news here in Nebraska. 1 week after classes started at Millard Public Schools in Omaha, an elementary classroom was shut down because of COVID cases.
Montclair Elementary had 4 confirmed cases in just one classroom, so the entire class was asked to quarantine at home. In the district as a whole, 52 students already have COVID. Again, that's after just 1 week of classes. The district does not have a mask mandate. And big news today from Bryan Health. They say they are filled to capacity with patients.
And because of that, and due to trouble finding enough staff, it's delaying elective surgeries again.
In regards to our surgeries and procedures requiring an overnight stay that can be delayed 30 days, we will not schedule until further notice. I want to add clarification that outpatient surgeries are not impacted by this decision. Those will continue.
Now, Bryan says one of the big reasons they're full is due to the amount of COVID patients. They said today they have 66 COVID patients. 61 are not fully vaccinated. They have 17 of those patients in intensive care, 16 of them unvaccinated, and 15 people on ventilators, 14 of whom are not vaccinated. And if you give me just a second here, we did receive word here from county officials. These numbers are just in on today's. Unfortunately, 2 more people have died from COVID here in Lancaster County. 1 man in his 30s and 1 man in his 70s who were both hospitalized and unvaccinated. National news now. The Biden administration will now require nursing home staff to get vaccinated against COVID.
This is a new condition for facilities to continue receiving Medicare and Medicaid funding.
Instead of chasing after something like this Delta virus that might actually be getting a diminution in protection, you want to stay ahead of the game. All right. And that's why the decision was to boost people.
The new regulation will start impacting nursing homes as soon as next month. According to federal data, hundreds of thousands of nursing home employees are unvaccinated.
A suspect is now in custody after authorities responded to a bomb threat near the U.S. Capitol building.
Multiple buildings on Capitol Hill had to be evacuated via underground routes. ABC's Elizabeth Scholze has the latest.
After hours of negotiations with police, a suspect claiming he had explosives in his parked truck near the U.S. Capitol is now in custody.
He gave up and did not resist, and our folks were able to take him into custody without incident.
The suspect has been identified as Floyd Ray Roseberry from North Carolina.
We do know that Mr. Roseberry has had some losses of family. In his, I believe his mother recently passed away, and we spoke with members of his family, and there were other issues that he was dealing with.
Roseberry's black pickup truck was parked for several hours outside the Library of Congress, prompting evacuations at that building, as well as the U.S. Supreme Court and several other buildings on Capitol Hill. Both the House and Senate are in recess, but around 10 a.m., some congressional staffers were alerted to remain calm and relocate to other buildings through underground tunnels. Law enforcement sources say they're now focusing on how to safely process Roseberry's vehicle to determine if it contained explosives.
And it's an active scene that we're trying to render safe.
Authorities were also investigating a video allegedly posted to Facebook by Roseberry during the standoff. Near the scene this afternoon, a heavily armored police presence. Metropolitan Police Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team on the grounds. The nation's capital once again on alert amid heightened domestic terror threats.
Now, police have yet to reveal a motive. They say they're investigating Roseberry's whereabouts before he arrived here today. Elizabeth Scholze, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Now back to some developing news here at home from a local shooting. Lincoln police making another arrest in the shooting near the Edgewood movie theater. Police say a 17-year-old was identified by witnesses as someone who shot at least one of the victims. But the investigation is still ongoing and police believe there are more individuals involved.
In other crime news now, an Exeter man is facing child porn charges. 41-year-old Spencer Lyle was arrested in Lancaster County. Officials say he was trying to sell stolen windmill blades. Well, while serving a search warrant, deputies say they found child porn on his phone.
This man is facing charges in a road rage incident. Deputies say 37-year-old Ronald Bance punched another driver in the face at a gas station off of Saltillo Road. They say he then ran over the victim's leg after he got out of his car. And police say the victim will need surgery.
New at 5 tonight, an exclusive ABC News interview. President Biden sat down with ABC News anchor George Stephanopoulos. The president standing his ground on removing troops from Afghanistan, but says he will keep them there until every last American is out.
In his first interview since Afghanistan's fall to the Taliban, President Biden tells ABC's George Stephanopoulos a chaotic withdrawal was inevitable.
We're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens.
A change in tune after the president said last month a Taliban takeover at this pace was unlikely.
But the likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely. The intelligence community did not say back in June or July that in fact this was going to collapse like it did. Number one.
They thought the Taliban would take over, but not this quickly.
But not this quickly, not even close.
The president defensive when asked about images showing frantic scenes at the Kabul airport as tens of thousands try to flee the country.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
What did you think when you first saw those pictures?
What I thought was we have to gain control of this. We have to move this more quickly. We have to move in a way in which we can take control of that airport. And we did.
Officials say they've evacuated 7,000 people, but up to 15,000 Americans and at least 65,000 Afghans are still waiting to get out. The president not ruling out that U.S. troops could stay past the August 31st withdrawal deadline.
We're going to do everything in our power to get all Americans out and our allies out.
Does that mean troops will stay beyond August 31st if necessary?
Depends on where we are and whether we can ramp these numbers up to 5,000 to 7,000 a day coming out. If that's the case, they'll all be out.
A new AP NORC poll conducted during the Taliban takeover finds 6 in 10 Americans say the war in Afghanistan was not worth fighting. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
And still ahead on the news here at 5 o'clock, 2 cousins in Denver are raising money for Afghan refugees.
We'll tell you more about how these 2 5-year-olds are doing it 1 cup at a time. That's right after the break.
Two cousins in Colorado are doing their part, no matter how small, to help those who are fleeing Afghanistan.
The two 5-year-olds set up a lemonade stand and are donating all of their proceeds to the International Rescue Committee to help those refugees. Here's the story.
Lemonade for $2 and $1.
Just like my mother used to make.
More lemon, please.
Oh, the lemonade is Timber's grandmother's special recipe.
Mine's rum and his is Timber. Yep, Timber.
Timber's been really wanting to do a lemonade stand.
First, put the syrup.
Thank you so much.
She wanted sparkling.
Really good, guys.
Our business is going great.
We're going to donate the proceeds from the lemonade stand to International Rescue Committee.
We're giving it to the refugee people.
Oh, Afghanistan, yeah. It's a tough situation, huh?
10?
Last I checked, it was well over $250. If everyone takes small steps to do something, then maybe it will make a difference.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Malcolm Byron.
Well, today's a great day to drink some lemonade because it is just hot and humid outside. Good thing about some cloud cover is it's going to help cool us off a little bit. You notice the dark gray colors to these clouds. There's actually a couple scattered showers hanging around southeast Nebraska. None of them are severe, but there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for our far western counties. Primary concerns here being large hail damaging winds and perhaps a small chance for an isolated tornado, but it's mainly out in the southwest corner of the state where we do have some thunderstorms approaching at this moment. You'll notice the severe thunderstorm watch does not include Lincoln. It doesn't include the Tri-Cities as well, and I don't anticipate this evening that we'll see a watch extended farther east towards Lincoln. So we see a couple scattered showers on radar right now. That's the dark clouds that we were kind of seeing. These are few and far between, very widely scattered, so I wouldn't guarantee that you're going to get wet this evening, but maybe take the umbrella just in case. Otherwise, there's just some peaks of sun through the clouds. But there are some more storms off towards the west, so if you are watching out towards McCook, the southwestern corner of the state, I think there's a better chance of you seeing some rain this evening, though it's not a 100% chance. You can see that the bright colors on radar right here, actually a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings denoted by the yellow polygons right here, and these are starting to approach Chase and Perkins counties at the moment. So if you're watching in Grant and Imperial, we're watching for the potential for a few severe thunderstorm warnings over the next 1 to 2 hours or so. We'll be here definitely watching that. So let's talk about stormcasts, because these are moving off towards the east, and the big question is, are they going to make it to Lincoln? So as we go over the next several hours, you'll notice they slowly push off towards the east, but for the most part, most of these storms look like they're going to remain north of I-80. As we head towards midnight and early tomorrow morning, perhaps approaching the Tri-Cities, but again, the farther north you are, the more likely you are to see any of this rain. As we step forward in time, these storms come closer to Lincoln, and perhaps by tomorrow morning we'll be dealing with some storms in Lincoln. I think there's an isolated chance to see a severe thunderstorm out of this, but at least for this evening, I don't think Lincoln is going to see anything in terms of severe weather. But then as we go into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, that's where our severe weather potential starts to increase. Let's talk stormcast. As we go in towards the afternoon, a front will approach, and we may see some thunderstorms fire up along that front. You notice this particular run of stormcast, they fire just over Lincoln, and that's the tough thing here, is this is going to depend exactly on the timing of the front. As they push in towards the Iowa side and into Missouri, we start to see clearing skies as we head towards midnight tomorrow night. So there's a couple of scenarios. Let's say the front arrives just a little bit earlier. If that's the case, these storms are going to fire along the front just west of Lincoln, and as they approach Lincoln, well, they start to intensify just a little bit more. Now, there's also another scenario that the front arrives later. In that event, the storms fire off towards our east, and they move off towards the east, and we don't see a drop of rainfall. So this is going to require some very close monitoring over the next couple of model runs. We'll bring you the latest updates right here on Channel 8. 72 degrees tonight, partly cloudy, perhaps a morning thunderstorm, but the severe risk this evening is mainly out west. Southeast wind 10 to 15 miles per hour for tomorrow. 90 degrees, partly cloudy. We're anticipating the possibility for some evening storms. Here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Saturday is not as humid, so once that front passes, we're a little bit cooler on Saturday, 84 degrees. The humidity is not that bad as well, but if you think that low humidity is going to stick around, it is not, because it goes right back up starting on Sunday, and the heat and humidity combined will allow us to introduce some scattered rain chances all the way through the middle part of next week.
All right, Malcolm, thank you very much for keeping us updated on those storm chances. All right, an interesting story here for you. A car in Lincoln is so rare that just examples of it are worth up to $1 million.
Channel 8's Nathan Grieve tells us the story behind it.
June 19th, 1947. Preston Tucker reveals his namesake automobile to the world, and 3/4 of a century later, the 51 examples he made before shutting down are as impressive as ever and command equally impressive numbers. One sold for auction last year at $2,040,000. So how on earth did one of them end up here? We'll enter Museum of American Speed founder Bill Smith.
He was always looking to purchase a Tucker Torpedo automobile, and the chance finally came in 2000 when he was able to purchase this one. I remember when Bill bought it, he was told by all of his friends he paid way too much money for it. Of course, now we look back at that and we all laugh, and I hope Bill somewhere is smiling down too, because we're just so lucky to have it.
So, what is it that's so special about this car? For some, it's the design. Certainly unique with that third headlight in the middle. For others, it's what the car represents, a mix of success and failure and dreams made reality.
When the Tucker Corporation folded, Preston Tucker, it didn't take a lot of wind out of his sails. He was ready to go on and do the next thing, and he has a famous quote that, he said, Henry Ford failed his first time too.
Unfortunately, Preston Tucker would succumb to health issues before his next big chance came, but his dream lives on, in film, in print, and it's retold each time someone sees the car bearing his name.
When you come into a car museum, you think you're just going to see a bunch of stuff, but what you're really doing is you're learning about people and their stories of triumph and maybe failure, and I think that relates to all of us.
It's certainly related to Preston Tucker, and looking at his car, you feel a bit of it yourself. For Nebraska's trusted news source, I'm Nathan Grieve.
Very cool. You can see the Tucker and other pieces of motoring history at the Museum of American Speed.
They're open Monday through Friday from noon to 4:30 p.m. Now to some consumer news. Wells Fargo customers may get a chance to keep their personal line of credit.
That's right. Last month, the bank said they would close them. Well, they even admitted that doing so could hurt owners' credit scores. But after a lot of complaints, the bank says only customers who have been using their lines of credit can continue to keep them. Inactive customers' accounts will be closed on December 2nd.
A split day on Wall Street, the Dow falling 67 points, NASDAQ up just 16. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source. Finally tonight, check this out. Archaeologists have discovered a well-preserved skeleton in Pompeii. The mummified man even had white hair and part of an ear.
Now this is interesting because the tomb also had inscriptions in Greek. This is rare evidence that they spoke Greek and Latin. Actually, everything about this is pretty rare, especially for Pompeii. All right, let's get a final check of the weather with Malcolm.
Right, we have a couple storms approaching some of our western counties. A severe thunderstorm watch will remain in effect until about 9 o'clock Central Time.
Okay, I guess that's
You
all
can
we
keep
have.
talking. They'll just look at us, but are we out of time?
All right, the severe thunderstorm watch is in effect.
With the Channel 8 Eyewitness News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
What's so extreme about the DQ Reese's Extreme Blizzard? How about all the Reese's you could dream of, all in world-famous DQ soft serve? What a rush. Get it.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Choosing to buy a new Volkswagen? That's an easy decision. Rush to Schwar Volkswagen. Drive a 2021.5 Atlas SE 4Motion for $397 a month, or buy with 1.9% financing for 60 months. Don't see the Atlas you want? Reserve your vehicle today at Schwar Volkswagen.
Times have been tough. The wait has been long. But hope has returned, and you're ready to live a full and vibrant life. At Emmanuel Communities, we're ready for you. We're strong and more prepared than ever. So let's meet in whatever way you're most comfortable. Emmanuel Communities. We've been here for you for over a century. We'll be here for many years to come.
Sewing sure isn't what it used to be. From beginning to advanced sewers, So Creative has it all. Let the great staff at So Creative guide you through this large selection of sewing, sergers, and embroidery machines. The future of sewing is here. And fun. Notions, fabrics, cool software, ideas, and patterns, along with a huge assortment of buttons, make So Creative your one-stop sewing shop. And lots of classes for all ages and stages. Trade-ins and service too. Be creative at So Creative in Lincoln on 48th Street, just north of Highway 2.
White Castle Roofing is proud to give back to the Nebraska community with projects like Free Roof Rescue and Habitat for Humanity. White Castle Roofing, built with trust, proven by time.
It's the one, the only, once-a-year Gone Bananas sale at Ernie's in Ceresco, and we've peeled back prices store-wide. While the supply chain has been disrupted, Ernie's still has a huge selection of in-stock appliances, furniture, mattresses, and flooring ready for immediate delivery. With prices this low, it won't take long to sell a whole bunch. Plus, get up to 48 months special financing. We've gone bananas for this store-wide savings event at Ernie's in downtown Ceresco and Ernie's Mattress First, Lincoln.
Are you sweating over high energy bills? Windows drafty or broken? Champion is here with our hottest sale of the year. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. At Champion, we design new windows specific to your home's needs. Then they are built in our very own factory, installed by a team of professionals, and guaranteed for a lifetime by our best-in-class warranty. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Call or go online to book your free estimate at getchampionwindows.com.
Choosing to buy a new Volkswagen? That's an easy decision. Rush to Schwar Volkswagen. Lease a 2022 Taos SE or a 2021 Tiguan S. Your choice, only $259 a month. Don't see the Volkswagen you want? Reserve your vehicle today at Schwar Volkswagen.
Southeast Community College, your path to possible.
Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. The bomb scare in the Capitol, video of the suspect and his threats, the virus and the third shot in the U.S., and now the new and concerning study tonight. And the situation unfolding in Afghanistan. There is breaking news tonight. Desperation growing for thousands of Americans and Afghans trying to leave the country. And we have just learned inside the airport, 6,000 people have now been processed and cleared to board evacuation flights. The U.S. planning on 20 flights tonight alone. But the huge crowds of Americans and Afghans struggling to pass through Taliban checkpoints. Outside the airport, Taliban fighters firing warning shots into the air, cracking down on Afghans demonstrating against the Taliban, defiantly waving their national flag. Ian Pannell live from Kabul tonight, and Martha Raddatz live in Washington with the headline breaking at this hour that U.S. diplomats at the embassy in Kabul had reportedly warned the Secretary of State that the Afghan government was at risk of collapse as the Taliban was sweeping across the country. Meanwhile, back here at home tonight, and the bomb scare forcing evacuations near the U.S. Capitol. A 5-hour standoff. The man saying he had an explosive device in his pickup truck. Tonight, video of his threats. Capitol and D.C. police, the FBI, and ATF all on the scene. Pierre Thomas with late reporting tonight. News on the pandemic tonight, the new study and what it shows when it comes to breakthrough infections among the vaccinated. Authorities say this is more proof that the booster, the third shot, will help fight the Delta variant in this country. What the study appears to show. Tonight, the Northeast now bracing for Tropical Storm Henri, now expected to grow into a hurricane as it moves closer to the East Coast. Winds already up to 65 miles per hour, where it's expected to hit, bringing dangerous winds. This system will be felt from New York right up through Cape Cod and New England. Ginger Z with the timing and the track. In New York City, the race against time on the subway, a police officer and the unconscious man on the tracks with the train closing in. And a major airline tonight saying no alcohol on board until at least next year, timing their decision now to go along with the mask mandate now extended on planes until January, amid so many reports of unruly passengers.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Thursday night. We will get to the bomb scare in the Capitol, the video of that suspect and his threats, and news on the virus and this third shot. But we are going to begin tonight with the news just coming in on Afghanistan. Growing desperation outside the airport, the Taliban controlling checkpoints. While inside the airport tonight, the State Department now reporting 6,000 people are at the Kabul airport, cleared for departure now, waiting to leave. And that number, 20 flights to take off tonight. The other major headline developing word tonight that U.S. diplomats at the U.S. Embassy in Kabul reportedly warned the Biden administration, the Secretary of State, that the Afghan government was at risk of collapse as the Taliban was sweeping across the country in recent weeks. And reports that a cable was sent on July 13th. A source telling ABC News it called for the Biden administration to begin an airlift operation immediately for Afghans who helped the U.S. And tonight here, the images now emerging of the scene at the airport in the last 24 hours. Afghan refugees who have now been cleared, waiting for those flights. U.S. troops performing security checks. This young man passing through a checkpoint. While outside the base, the desperation in the crowds. Families holding their paperwork, their small children, flooding the roadways, trying to reach the gates of the airport, the gunfire. Some still waiting and aware the Taliban still controls these checkpoints. Across Kabul tonight, heavily armed Taliban fighters are on patrol, their trucks bearing the white Taliban flag. But something else we also saw today, and what happens to be Afghanistan's Independence Day. Afghans against the Taliban defiantly carrying the Afghanistan national flag through the streets. In some cases, the Taliban confronting them. A lot of moving parts at this hour. Reports of that warning from U.S. diplomats on the ground in Kabul and that cable asking for immediate help for Afghans. Martha Raddatz standing by on this, and ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell leading us off from Kabul again tonight.
Tonight, the new urgency in Kabul, with as many as 15,000 Americans and up to 60,000 Afghans who've helped the U.S. mission in limbo, desperate to escape. Inside the airport, the State Department late today said as many as 6,000 Americans and Afghans have been processed and cleared for evacuation from the country. And tonight, 20 flights waiting to get them to safety. But this evening, the images from outside the airport, where Taliban fighters struggle to keep control, using guns and batons against civilians. Reports at least 12 people have now been killed since Sunday by either stampede or gunfire. The Pentagon saying 13 C-17s have landed, and more than 5,200 US troops are now in Kabul, attempting to process more people faster. But some planes departing with empty seats because people can't get through the checkpoints. The agony of not being able to get to the airport past Taliban-controlled checkpoints is the reality on the ground here, as we've witnessed firsthand in the last 24 hours.
Tell him we have permission. We have permission. Yes, ABC.
Taliban fighters ignoring the accreditation issued by their own commanders. Gunfire erupting.
Let's go.
With weapons drawn, the Taliban forced us back to our cars.
These guys can't read. One of the guys kind of draws his gun and they're angry, they're tense, gesturing to us to stop filming, to get out of there, and it's one of those terrible situations where you can see things can go badly wrong.
We received this audio message from a trapped teacher, a US permanent resident, who says even with the proper paperwork, he couldn't get through. For his safety, we're not naming him.
It is insane. There are people holding their American passports. There are people that work with the Americans, and they're not letting anyone in. We are in huge danger, and we need help.
And with tens of thousands of Americans and Afghans who've helped the US desperate to get out, George asking the president, will US troops stay past the August the 31st deadline if all Americans and all Afghans who helped us aren't out?
Are you committed to making sure that the troops stay until every American who wants to be out is out?
Yes.
How about our Afghan allies? Does the commitment hold for them as well?
The commitment holds to get everyone out that, in fact, we can get out and everyone should come out. And that's the objective.
And today, some dissent against the Taliban growing. Some Afghans defiant, celebrating the country's Independence Day, parading a massive national flag here in Kabul. The Taliban quickly shutting it down, chasing the protesters through the streets, firing warning shots. The militants have been promising to respect women's rights, but tonight, disturbing stories already emerging of some women unable to leave their homes without a male companion, and girls only allowed to school up to the age of 9. Zara Nabi, a journalist here in Kabul, begging the world not to forget about Afghanistan.
You're destroying all our future. You're destroying everything. Please fight for the rights of that woman, that girls, that they're really buried alive.
Despite the heartache for so many, new images of the few who have made it to safety. These Afghans huddled together on a US airbase in Qatar. An uncertain, but perhaps more peaceful future.
So let's get back to Ian Pannell back with us again tonight. And Ian, there would appear to be some progress, according to your reporting there, inside the airport. Of course, the main issue that remains tonight, the thousands, Americans and Afghans outside the airport, the Afghans who helped the U.S., that they have paperwork, they're desperate to leave, but they also know the Taliban controls these checkpoints.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the good news is more processing capacity, more people at the airport tonight. The bad news continues to be the Taliban, the difficulties of getting people across the wire to the American side and to safety. David?
Ian Pannell, our thanks to you and the team on the ground again tonight. And as I mentioned off the top this evening, there was also that developing headline about an urgent warning from American diplomats on the ground right there in Kabul weeks ago as the Taliban was sweeping the country. Reports a cable was sent with their concerns, particularly for the Afghans who helped the U.S. over the 20-year war. So let's get right to our Chief Global Affairs correspondent, Martha Radich. She's live in Washington. And Martha, President Biden has said that he was surprised by how quickly the Afghan government collapsed. But tonight you're learning that some U.S. diplomats on the ground in Kabul were warning of this weeks ago and that they were asking for help, particularly for the Afghans who helped the U.S.
That's exactly right, David. A source telling us tonight that